I just watched the Xbox Inside event where they talked about all the upcoming Series X games. So let's talk about it. So the Xbox Series X Inside Xbox event that was on the Inside Xbox YouTube then got transferred into the original Xbox YouTube finally just ended, and I'm here to give some wrap up of what was inside the event, you should say, my opinions and thoughts about the games. So let's just get breaking it down. It opened with a funny fridge meme when the Xbox Series X was announced. A lot of people
Oh, no, 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 no.
They assured us that it was a lot smaller than what was portrayed in the photo. And then, there's been on YouTube videos of what it actually looks like, the breaking down of the Xbox Series X. So we know a lot more about it, and we're a lot more comfortable with it. And we do appreciate it. And I still think the design is fire. It's like a mini PC, and you know what? It's just fire. That's just me. That's just me saying it's fire, because it is. I'm tired of the standard square box, like a DVD, VCH set. Like, come on. It's time to move on from that. But let's get into the video. So, after they announced, they started opening with a funny meme of the Xbox fridge. He discussed how they have all these different games, and then he said a couple of seconds of random gibberish, and then we got into the trailers. And it started off with Bright Memory. Now, Bright Memory looks like a future sci-fi first-person shooter, and let me just say this, the graphics look phenomenal. There was rain dripping everywhere, freaking the leaves was swaying back and forth in the environment. The game looked very high tech, very graphic fidelity, had high quality visuals, very top notch when it comes to visuals for the game. And then they revealed that it was only made by one person, and as you're shooting the guns, you see the guns, the bullets, it's a lot of flash, a lot of sparkle. And then it got to the car scene where he called up a car through his phone, and he hopped in the car, and they're driving, and it looked like a cinematic trailer, but in fact it was gameplay. And the thing that twisted your mind, there's a lot of people in the chat like, oh, this is just trailer, but no, that was indeed legit gameplay, and it looked insane. So Bright Memory is something that I'm going to definitely be reading up more about and wanting to play, because it looks fire. And then they got into Dirt 5, and they showed some gameplay footage of Dirt 5, and I mean, they didn't really show too much gameplay per se, like a lot of people thought they were, but they did show some gameplay, and then some was cinematic gameplay. But however you want to classify it, it's just people's expectations were probably way too high for what they were trying to do, as they did announce an event that was like 4 months long, and we're going to break that down into another video as well, but we're going to stay on topic to this video, as it's the Xbox Inside Scoop for Series X gameplay wrap up. So after they brought in Dirt 5, which me personally I didn't really care for, it's just a racing game. It's another entry into the Dirt series. If that's your cup of tea, that's all right, and you are valued for that. It's just, for me, it was just something like, okay, cool. And then they brought in a very spooky type trailer, which was also referenced later in the Xbox event as Phil Spencer's house. And this one looked really like Kojima type game, although I don't know who developed it off the top of my head. It's all in the trailer, but it was called Scorn. Very dark, very sinister, evil, and dark. Just very dark. So I don't really know what this game is, because they didn't really show too much. It was just a lot of cinematic gameplay. There wasn't really any actual gameplay per se for this game, but Scorn did look interesting enough to get my attention, only because of the spooky aesthetics. So that was that. And then they showed off a space type shooter game named Severvez. I probably just butchered the name. And again, relaying a lot of flash, a lot of glamour, and it was actually really, really cool. I'm not really into the space genre, but this seemed like a game that I could give it a shot. And I'm trying to come into the next gen with a lot more open mind state of games and to play different games because I'm getting tired of the same old experiences. And you can't really get out of the same old experiences unless you dabble in other game tapes, tastes, and other game varieties. So keeping an open mind with that one, and it's something that looked interesting. And then Patrick Mahomes came in and shut everything down. Super Bowl star number 15 for the Chiefs came out and announced he announced the Madden 21. They didn't really show really anything of the Madden 21. It was mainly him, and then it broke down like all the different Maddens, and then after that, it showed you a tiny snippet, very very tiny snippet of a recreation of what he did. It was either in the Super Bowl or the game before the Super Bowl, the championship, and it looks good, but it was so what's that word I'm looking for? It was so small and short that it was really hard to like appreciate it because it was just so short. But it looked good. And again, it's just the Madden game. They come out every year, so we already know Madden 21 was coming. And let's just move on. It's just Madden. Then they changed the game up. Man, they changed the game up with this one. A lot of puppets, ventriloquism was shown on screen, and like this whole theme with this old music in the background. And I mean, I'll probably have the trailer in the back while I'm talking, so I'll probably like let me just shut up and let you hear this. Just hear this music real quick. Was the place we'd meet, second seat, go Dutch. And it's just that good. And like the music, the atmosphere, the visuals, the graphics, the way they flowed that trailer together, it really brought my interest really high. Like this was probably to me the best trailer in and the best game being shown off in to the in this event. And it's called Bloodlines 2, and it just blew my mind, and I'm really really interested in this one. And yeah, I mean there's not much to say because we don't know much about it yet, but let's just call me very 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 interested, and I'm gonna say it's probably the best that they showed in my particular opinion in the event. And then it got a little calmer with Call of the Sea, a little more cartoony, graphical, cell shaded style. Really well done though. It more looked like a watercolor game of paintings, and it looks good. It seems like it's one of those adventure games like Rapture on the PlayStation Store and the PC. I think it's on the PC as well. It's like one of those games. Um, and there's really not much I can say other than that. It looks graphically okay. And I'm not sure if that's something I would dabble in yet, but maybe because I did give Rapture a shot too. And then they showed off the Ascent, which is a third-person type looter RPG, very sci-fi, very cyberpunkish. And it actually looks good. I know a lot of people in the chat at the time when we was watching, they didn't really care for it. But when you break it down and get over just the third person bird eye view, it really looks like a good solid game. They showed loot, they showed co-op features, they showed different spells and abilities, and it just looked like a solid title. And you can't have huge expectations for launch title games when these new generation systems come out. So having that as a launch day title would actually be good because you can't expect much. The consoles are not gonna launch out with like 5 6 full AAA titles. That's just having your expectations too high. It's just not gonna happen. You got to give people time to make games because there are humans behind these games that are being made. But let's move on. And then a really horror spooky game was shown called The Medium, where it blends a schizophrenic medium, some PTSD, and some really horrifying creatures and creation with some really, really good music, honestly. The musician behind it, the composer, is a well known artist, and they're very appreciated in the industry. Some would say legendary. And It seems very Silent Hill inspired. So, for those that want that Silent Hill scratch, that itch that they have, this might be the game for you to check out, and I'll probably have to play this game as well in the dock for the very horrific experience the game provides. And after the medium, they showed off Scala Nexus, which is a very anime, anime game, and I love it. I'm a huge fan of the animated type games, very anime type games, very Japanese, superpowers, wrecking stuff, and just all over the top, just overly done, over the top type games. And this game looks like to scratch that itch, and it's coming from Namco Bandai. Damn it, it's coming from them, and it actually looks pretty damn interesting. And that's really much. They didn't really show too much about it other than the whole opening and like what the game's about. But we need more details, and we'll get into that in future videos. But that definitely has my interest for anime type games that are coming out. After that, it was they queued to a bunch of dinosaurs running at people, and you got guns drawn, and you're shooting down the dinosaurs, and it looked very Jurassic Park. And I'm thinking, oh shoot, it's Jurassic Park, the real version where you're killing them and not running away. But it's actually called Second Extinction. If you don't know about that, Extinction was a game that came out, and it kind of not flopped, but not a lot of people picked it up, and not a lot of people are streaming it. And it's a co-op survival type game. So think um, not the what the hell? What's the damn game? Think what is that game that I'm trying to think? It's the one with the zombies. Left 4 Dead, yes. Think Left 4 Dead, but trade the zombies for dinosaurs, and you have the Extinction. And it seems like they're trying to make a comeback with the Second Extinction, adding a few more features, more co-op stuff. We didn't really get to see much. The trailer was kind of short, but it does look good graphic-wise. Might be something that, just keep an open mind about. And then it tried to steal the show, but like I said, I mean, Bloodlines stole the show for me. But Yakuza Like a Dragon was announced and shown off, and the gameplay looks phenomenal. I don't know if you guys are fans of the Yakuza series, but I recently just got into the Yakuza series, and man, them games are a thrill. It's like a roller coaster of emotions, of rides. There's mini games, there's games inside of the game, there's so much different combat styles and customization and over the top funniness. It's just, the Yakuza games are just a delightful experience, in my opinion, and I love them. So this one is on my radar, just like all the other Yakuza games that I haven't played through yet. Moving on, they wanted to show off some Assassin's Creed Valhalla footage, which it was very short. It was almost like a trailer, and then they showed some cinematic gameplay. It was literally like a couple of scenes of the environment, nothing really over the top, and then more trailer stuff. And regardless, the game looks great. I don't know if you're a fan of the Assassin's Creeds. I know I kind of had a fire for them, and then the fire dwindled, and then it came back with Origins, and then I didn't get to play the Spartan ones, which now it's on my list to play. And then now they got the Valhalla Vikings, which that's definitely a game that has my interest. And then at the end of it, they disclosed that July will be another Xbox event for the Series X, where they're going to show a lot more first-party titles, a lot more details on when to expect these games, and more gameplay, not just cinematic gameplay, and a lot. They're going to go into details, and maybe they'll reveal a price. We don't know yet. But all we could do is stay tuned. And that's pretty much the wrap up of this Xbox Inside event. I'm Husky Puppy at NGI. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, give me a like for the video, help support the channel, and then you can also catch me over on Husky Puppy TV. That is my other YouTube channel where I'm playing the games, uploading the footage, and then you can catch me live on Twitch at Husky Puppy TV on Twitch. And if you want to send me a tweet at Husky TV. Thanks you everybody. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out of here. God bless and